Welcome to the Unfinished Business Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Mulvin, and this is a show where we sit down with CEOs, leaders, visionaries, and creatives who are out there changing the world through their business, through their leadership, through their creativity, or through their organization. Because it doesn't matter who you are or what you've accomplished. Even someone like Steven Spielberg still has unfinished business. He still has movies he wants to make. And so we explore those topics today on Unfinished Business with Eric Mulvin.
Connect to amplify. Unfinished business. Human intelligence plus AI. Unfinished business. Moonshot goals that launch you high. Unfinished business. Listen close and you'll learn why.
Today's guest is a Dumaguete raised, Manila-based visual artist, photographer, filmmaker, content creator, and visual storyteller. With over 14 years of experience behind the camera, his work has been featured by the BBC, LA Times, ABS-CBN News, GMA, and other international media outlets. He has collaborated with brands such as Skechers, Levi's, Xiaomi, and Anchor Helmets, and has created content for some of the country's well-known personalities, including influencer Mark Newton. He is also part of the group brand ambassador for ADNOC Voyager Philippines and the co-owner of W Studios, an upcoming creative studio set to open in New York. Through his work, he continues to document compelling stories, cultures, and communities across the Philippines. Please welcome to the show, Benzi Florendo, aka Benzi.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, thanks for being on the show. Excited to have you on here. An impressive resume. I do forget sometimes all you've accomplished there. So, but we're excited to have you here. And for those of you who are listening and are wondering what is all that background noise, maybe you're not watching. We're live, filming live in the park here. On the boulevard in downtown Dumaguete. It's Sunday night as we're filming.
Didn't expect this much.
Yeah, we've got karaoke over here. There's a live band over there. There's karaoke behind us. Dogs barking. So, but we wanted to bring you some of the life of Dumaguete, and I thought it'd be fun to film here. So, but leave some feedback in the comments if you like this, if this worked out okay. I'm curious how it works, but I just wanted to start with that, and I guess a little background between Benzi and I. He had worked for Pactus for a couple years, and I feel very fortunate that he did spend a couple years working with us. He was our first hire after COVID started, and he has left a lasting impact, because even though he hasn't been at Pactus and he's moved on to Manila and greener pastures, we have a gigantic mural every time you go upstairs to our office on the second floor that he put together, and we do work on projects from time to time. So with that background, we have a little bit of history together, but I'm going to stop talking, and I wanted you to talk a bit. You're born here, right? In Dumaguete?
Actually born in Manila. So the place where I'm in Manila right now, it's funny, it's like where I'm born in Quezon City, I'm like back to where I'm born.
Wow, crazy.
Like all the cities in Manila, it's like Quezon City.
Like close to where you grew up?
Yeah, like close to even where not really close to where I grew up, close to where the hospital was born.
Oh, wow.
So it's like this right there.
Yeah, crazy how that works. And when did you move to Dumaguete?
So I moved to Dumaguete when I was 3 years old, so kept flying back and forth with my mom and dad were based in Manila for a while. Then, since my dad's family was from Dumaguete, the rest of his brothers and sisters were in the U.S. So he was the only sibling here, so he had to take care of my grandparents back then. So we had to here in Dumaguete since I was around 3 years old. And I've been here till be at college life.
Okay, so most of your life you
most of
grew up here. So for the people who never been to Dumaguete, which is probably most of the listeners to the show that are all over the world, tell people a little bit about Dumaguete, because I could try to talk about it, but you lived here for many years. What's this place all about?
First in mind when you ask about Dumaguete, it's like according to Forbes or like even the articles, like one of the top 20 places to retire in. So like right now, it's like yeah, there's like a lot of different people from around the world like living in Dumaguete. So growing up in Dumaguete, it used to be like this really small, laid back town. So we called like the main city like downtown Dumaguete. So that's where like we have just one really small mall, UP Plaza. Then we had this like long stretch of boulevard where we're at right now. And it was really like simple. I remember back then we could ride on calesas, those horse carriages. What do you call those?
I still see them around
yeah,
here.
I see them around here. But before they used to be like part of your daily commute.
Oh,
I still reach that part, like get paid and like, okay, bring me home around this area.
they take you beyond the
Not-
boat.
yeah.
I didn't know that they went off the boat.
Yeah, like it wasn't just like a tourist attraction, sort of, but we could like have them bring us home. That, so
Sounds like a
yeah.
fancy way to get home.
Yeah,
I'm taking
yeah.
the horse home today.
And yeah, it was missing that and yeah, helicopter tricycles. Then aside from that, yeah, just simple life. Remember you could see like we had lots of green, like lots of plants, lots of different insects. So it was really that laid back then. Not like compared to what I see now. Like, really way different. We have Starbucks right in the left.
Yeah, that's true. There's a Starbucks here now. There's several Starbucks here
We
now.
have Kenny Rogers and yeah, so it's really different.
All the chains are moving. But what's the charm? Why is it one of the top 20 places in the world to retire
I
to?
think the charm is they actually Dumaguete comes from the word dagat, which beside means like to capture. Because way back then we have this huge bell tower right to our left here, and they would use it to warn people when pirates were coming in. But like in a way, it sort of like captured, like fast forward to like modern times, it sort of like captured people's hearts to be here. It was laid back, but you basically had everything you needed. Like if you needed like to live peacefully, if you needed like stuff for your daily needs, it wasn't like too like what do you call this? Like it's city life, but it's not too like Manila or city, like big city life. You can have all you need right here and still like live a good life. So like lots of my friends who like been traveling like backpackers, they end up like living here now. I know one of them like have even like restaurants and so yeah, they just live.
So they traveled around the world backpacking, and they decided of all the places to live, right here.
Yeah.
And they set up shop, started businesses, and it's part of the growth of the city. It's been pretty interesting. I've been coming here since I was little. I was like, I know I was a baby when I was brought here. And I've been coming here ever since. But yeah, I too have seen a lot of the growth. But you know, you talk about, it's funny, that word dagat, to capture.
Yeah.
And you know, your background as a photographer, videographer.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah. You're out there capturing stories, capturing moments on film, on digital sensors here. And you know, this city is also known for its artistry, the artists that are here. In fact, right over there is one of the shops where I always love to stop in and see, okay, there's all the local artists that are featured there. You could buy postcards, you could buy posters, t-shirts, little toys, unique. Usually you go, the thing I love, and it's always a challenge, whenever I travel, my wife and I look for, like, what's some souvenir that we could bring back that's unique? And after traveling so much, you realize there's a lot of stuff that's like, I can go to the Philippines and get the same little sea turtle shell, and they stamp Cebu, they stamp Dumaguete, you can get the same thing all over the Philippines just with a different name. That to me is not very unique. Like a store like that, they feature local artists and they got super unique stuff. And one of the artists featured there is Benzi. So, but there's like dozens and dozens of artists that come here. How does this place end up becoming such a place for artists?
Yeah, even not just like artists, even like like writers. Like we're named like it's called Heritage. Yeah, we're named like one of the places like for literature. I guess that because it's like now coming from Manila, from like a busy city, like experiencing Dumaguete again for like 3 weeks. I realized that it's really laid back. Like there's a lot of time for you to just like think and do art, and just like you don't have that much of anxiety about trying to get into traffic, trying to like get into work 2 hours before just to get there. So it's just and also nature. I think we're really close to like nice mountains, nice rivers, falls, and just like natural stuff. So yeah, I think just being in a laid back city and not having to worry about a lot of stuff.
All right. And what got you into this creative world? Because Dumaguete is known for the universities here. You could have studied anything. You could become a nurse. You could become I don't know, anything. Engineer. Why did you get into this creative world here?
I think it started really, really young, loving art. Like I remember my mom keeping like a piece I drew when I was 5 years old until I have it, and then I went into like elementary and high school, joining like before in elementary, it was poster making contest was like a big thing. I could earn or win like 2,000 pesos back then.
Nice.
So that really like honed my creativity. I never knew it could be like a profession in a way, or like a way to like make a living off. So fast forward to college. It so happened that fine arts opened here, and growing up seeing lots of artwork, superheroes, I was like, okay, I'll try going to school here instead of like Cebu and other places. Partly because maybe I was like scared to go in another place back then. I couldn't imagine myself, but yeah, so that's it. I realized that okay, I could learn fine arts in a more educational manner. So I just gave it a shot.
And you, some people just stick with like one medium. They mean just photography, just painting. You're kind of all over the place. How did that happen?
I think, I started learning, not really learning, but playing around with the camera when my dad had this point and shoot camera back then. I actually forgot the brand. I tried the Casio brand. It's like a calculated brand. Just like played around, but not really like, never learned it formally because back then we didn't really have books were hard to come by. So I was like, thinking, and I enjoyed like just documenting life. Like when we hang out with my friends, I would always like be the guy taking photos, like just because I love to, and to have like okay, and even they would even realize that I've been taking photos all along when we were hanging out. So that's where it started. Then I never saw myself into like graphic art because I knew I was always like, no, I can like paint. And be like really strict. I'm just gonna be painting, nothing digital, whatever. And fast forward, I did the opposite. I'm like doing more digital stuff, more graphic arts. I guess it's just me wanting to learn more of the stuff that I don't really know. So when some people like ask me before, like, hey, do you know how to like make a brochure? I'll be like, oh yeah, I do, but I didn't really know how to. So it would force me to learn something new. And also like just being to Dumaguete, the resources we have here back then was really, really like we didn't have much. So it gave me an opportunity to just really learn as much as I can because there's not much who can do this, and so I was like, okay, that's what I'll do myself.
Well, not many people that could do that. So you're like, oh, you'll try.
Yeah.
So at what point did you, like, how old were you when you decided, like, this is going to be my career, profession, is to do art? Or be doing something creative?
I think when I was in college, I said fine arts, but it was more of, it was generally fine arts. It wasn't like a specific medium, so I had the taste of like filmmaking, photography, and then I met this guy named Persley, and he was doing the photography and murals. So I like just volunteered myself to like learn. It wasn't like I wasn't doing it as a working student. It was like I want to learn more. So I think in transition to like when I graduated in college, I just hung out with him a lot. That when he did projects with photos, I also like did with him. So then that's where it started. Yeah, I decided, oh, okay, I could also earn from doing something I love, but it wasn't really easy. Like I had to really go out there and do something that gave me opportunities to like do the stuff I could find. So a lot of like doing stuff for friends and doing stuff that my example was a linear on the download card. So like when I documented that, I told my friends, hey, wanna do something like this with just like a really unique wooden downhill kart race up in Valencia. Do you want to document it? And like, they were like hesitant. So I was like, okay, I'll do it myself. So that sort of like helped me go out there, because before that I was like just here in Dumaguete. So that video sort of like put me out there, and other people saw, okay, this is a really cool video. Maybe we could like have you come over here and there.
So that moment was pretty big for you.
Yeah, that moment. So, and it was
Not
like,
just a moment, but also getting out a great story. Because I'm sure that's what attracted people. They saw you put together something. It wasn't just, oh, here's some clips from this event.
Yeah.
You told a story, right?
Yeah.
Like what? I'm guessing. I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't actually. I've never seen it. We'll have to maybe insert it in here somehow. But yeah, because like I think that's the thing. You in the intro, talked about storytelling, and I think there's a big difference between throwing some clips together and actually telling a story, right? Talk to me. What does that mean to you, like storytelling, and when you're out capturing an event or capturing, a moment, an opportunity?
Yeah, I always try, even like when I capture like family gatherings or simple events, I always make sure that anyone who views it feels the same way as I felt, or like want to like make them feel it, want to make them sad or like really happy. I make sure that they can feel that way too as well, and that has always been my like sort of like core value when I do stuff. I don't just like take pictures, and especially like on events where like someone's speaking, and like, it's really hard to capture the perfect moment where they're like smiling when they're speaking. So I always make sure that they still look good even though they're speaking, because I know I've worked with some photographers, they just don't like capture, and sometimes the faces are like like this.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
There you go.
Yeah, I did my job, but no, like I really want to like even simple photos has to be like a story that can be told. So that has always like been in me ever since I started photos.
So you had some kind of entrepreneurial spirit here, because you did that the race, downhill race in Valencia, and it sounded like that started opening up some opportunities for you.
Yeah, so because of that unique downhill race, I took a video of, like, honestly when I did that video, I'd never expected anything from it. I didn't even put credits, but there was just like one part with my name in it that was like sort of like a credit scene. So then I uploaded it, and I think one guy in Facebook downloaded that video from YouTube and uploaded in his personal profile, like not knowing any copyright stuff, just because he really liked the video. So that I think a few days or a few weeks after, one of my friends were like, "Isn't this you in the video thumbnail?" Like me, like falling down from a huge jump. It's like, wait a minute, that's me. And it was like thousands of views and like millions of views, like if you like put them together. So then that's where like BBC came in, like what's his name? Henry Golding, the guy from Crazy Rich Asians. So he came all the way here just for that. Like other people, like the producer from Red Bull who did like the highest jump from outer space, like a sky jump. So they were like, I was like so surprised, like, wait.
So they were reaching out to you?
Yeah, they were reaching out. I was like, who's this guy? Like, they were like, yeah, they were reaching out to like come here to like film that. So that that was really like surprising for me, like coming from like a small town in Dumaguete, and the world was like.
That's really fascinating, because not too many people get to experience interacting with such big media outlets. I mean, how much confidence did that give you in your creative career?
Like honestly, even for a long time, there's this thing called imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So I've always had that since. Even like I think I just sort of like conquered it a few years back. I always had that like fear that these are just opportunities, but I'm still this guy in Dumaguete. I don't think I'm gonna like go anywhere. So, but but years later, like looking back, that's where like, oh wow, that's like this guy is like a big celebrity now. Back then he wasn't. So like I didn't know he was the one like serving, like making jokes like I'll give you rice, I'll give you serving rice. I was like a big celebrity. So like it always came back to like you never know, like in those moments, like in the future this is gonna be like bigger. There's just like a ripple effect of that. So I guess I just had to like continue doing what I really love, and like also like aside from just doing what I love, I also like to like really make people happy, and like even if like the job isn't paid or like or just to have a small business grow, I think one that always rewards me is like seeing like a change or like the owner really happy or the business really happy about a simple video that it did.
I mean, there's so many deserving businesses that don't even know. Well, marketing is a crazy world, right? Like making videos. I always like everyone's been in business like has had some weird experience with like someone that promised them something marketing wise and then they didn't deliver. And so you probably get people who are like, hey, I'll make you a video. And they're like, I don't have money. And you're like, no, I'll do it for free. That's crazy.
It's hard, especially if the business is like, for example, like a family business, and you hear their story, their background. Like it's really, really nice. They started from nothing, that they're here, then the pandemic came, and they're like really struggling, and they just want to survive because they want to like keep their employees. Like they still wanted their employees to have jobs. So like, but our budget's like this, so like that's where the struggle comes in, where like I want to really help, but at the same time like I don't want also like to like make myself like put all my energy there and like have nothing for me. So that I think that was like my weakness in the business, that I actually pour out everything I have. So, but yeah, I still do that, especially when I see like the potential of the business or if they deserve it. Because like I always put myself in their business. It's not every day someone would help. Yeah, it's like a challenge.
Yeah, and there's, I mean, if you walked around the city for a day, you could probably find 5 stories or more, like just through your everyday interactions. You know, talking to maybe a new coffee shop that opens up, and you start talking with them. Or you go to the market on Valencia on Sunday, you know, and you're like, oh, check out this new up and coming like food vendor that just started. How do you know? How do you determine what stories to tell?
Yeah, I think like being an introvert since I was a child, I guess me being a photographer and a videographer sort of like changed that. I sort of become like a extrovert, introvert. So something about an ambivert, right?
I've never heard the word, but
So-
I know a lot of people in business that are introverts, but they have to be an extrovert. And,
Yeah.
but they're really introverts. You would never know it.
Yeah.
It always shocks me. I'm like, no. And then,
Yeah,
but then they tell me
exactly.
stuff like, oh yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, so something like that. So like being an introvert, I've learned to be really observant. So like just being quiet and just like observing my surroundings. So that's when I see an interesting story, and especially if it's unique. And people, like each of us has different point of views. Like I can tell this story and you can tell that story, but the same story, but it's always a different like point of view. So I think what I always see is if someone's judgment when they like share, that's where I always like that's just how I scale things. Like if I see that genuineness of someone like a business owner, and I see that passion they have for their businesses. So that's when I like pay for this stuff. And recently, like living in Manila is like the story of that. Like just living here in Dumaguete, it's easy to like film compared to like other places, especially after the pandemic, right? So we could just like film the road, these permits and all that. So that's how we learned also back then. We weren't that restricted.
Yeah.
Compared to like maybe like, is it like that to do in like Phoenix when you grew up?
Yeah, well, I mean, I started my film stuff like in college, and I didn't know anything about permits.
Okay.
Like one of my first short films, I filmed we filmed several scenes inside several grocery stores, and we just went inside and started shooting. I pretended like I was a worker.
Okay.
We did another one that was like behind the scenes inside an Asian grocery store where we were filming workers like with hidden cameras, and had no idea that
So
they
they
were
didn't
in,
like stop you like, hey, are you guys filming or?
Well, we were trying to be quick.
Okay.
And I figure in the Asian store they're not gonna care. So we went a little like full camera. We had a crew.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, once you started to get professional, like one of the last films I did for that 48-hour film fest, which we worked together on. Well, I didn't do anything. You put together a film here in Dumaguete and placed in Arizona, by the way. But yeah, that's where we started running into like, oh, this is like you got to coordinate schedules, people, equipment. We can't just go film in this location because they're going to kick us out.
Yeah.
Especially when it's one thing when you just walk up with one camera. It's another thing when it's an equipment truck.
Then people notice like
through a cart full of audio equipment, then it starts becoming a problem. So yeah.
Yes.
So have you run into issues in Manila where you're like there's something you want to film and you're like, oh, if this was Dumaguete, I would have just gone and shot. And then you realize, no, this is gonna take more work.
I think in a business sense, it's more like let's schedule it here. It's gonna be, like has to be this time. That in Dumaguete it could be like, you know what? Let's shoot it the next day. I'm not feeling so okay. That's it.
No big deal.
Okay, or like you're gonna be a bit late or something like that. So it's because everything's near here that you can just reshoot it next time or not. And sometimes when you're shooting it's with friends. In Manila it has to be like, okay, this time, or else like everything's paid. It's like wasted. And like it travels far, so that so a lot of like aspects in between them. So like in Dumaguete, you can just like drive a scooter there, and you're filming there, and you could probably film in different locations in one day.
Yeah.
So that's how the one would get.
Just like right now, we can set up some cameras and here we go. So I want to dig into some of the entrepreneur stuff since this is a business show and you've really created a living for yourself in this space. Through whether it's employed to a company doing creative work or just freelance, doing your own projects along the way. What was a moment where you really questioned, if this is the right move for you, like that maybe making a career out of art is maybe not for you? Was there any moment for you like that?
I guess it'll probably be like pre-pandemic and after the pandemic. So like the challenge I had before was all the projects I did here was like sometimes it happens a lot, sometimes not. So it wasn't really like something stable, especially in Dumaguete where not a lot of businesses were like used to having like advertisements. And if they did, they'd use it for like I know I just met one restaurant a few days ago and it was like, I still use your ad since like probably 2017.
Oh, so like 9-year-old video.
Yeah, so they So it's like
Shows you how good the work is.
Yeah, thanks.
He doesn't need any more videos. He's set.
So they just shot another one like a few days ago. So like, yeah, like pretty much like how they do business here is like word of mouth, traditional. So like, they don't really invest so much in advertising. So it's more of if you want to do video work or photo work, you have to do weddings, which is yeah, not like it's not wrong, but for me, I really wanted to push like I wanted to do documentaries. Like it gave me joy to help businesses. Like when I did a video for them, they're like, this is nice, and like it helped like push sales or something. So that sort of like feeling from that like helped me a lot compared to just like weddings are nice, but it sort of felt like it was like templated here like the same thing.
All right. Well, you were talking about documentaries, and I know there was a project that you risked your life doing.
Oh yeah.
That I don't know if it's not really released publicly, right?
No. So that actually when your question sort of like relates to this one, then like when did I decide to like, or when I was like questioning like if this was really for me. So yeah, when I was doing all these other videos, I sort of had relatives who were like, "Are you sure that's what you want to do? Like just like a job in Manila or just like a normal job somewhere."
Yeah, normal 9 to 5.
Yeah. It's like I don't have this dream. Like I want to like do this and like maybe like give opportunities to other like kids like me in Dumaguete who don't have that much and like do something. So like I was really like idealistic back then. So moving forward, like there's just people who doubted me. So it's like I want to do this crazy project, like or like the opportunity came up from Boracay. I met this guy, and he's like, "Hey, you want to sail with me and document this film, like sailing from the Philippines to Australia?" I'm like, yeah, this is my opportunity for people that passion can like my passion for video could like help me. And I was like, if I can prove them, then I'll know because I'll be that that extreme. So yeah.
So yeah, you agreed to go on this.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to talk about it?
Yeah, I think it's actually it's funny. So I was thinking this earlier. I was just like talking about this earlier, and I guess being someone from Dumaguete, we don't really have that much opportunities here. Like, unlike if you're in Manila, everything's there. Like the equipment, like the film industry's there, like everything's there. So like if you're starting, like you have lots of opportunities to like build up. But here in Dumaguete, it's like you really have to like work like 50 times or 10 times just to like even get noticed. So like so like when the opportunity came like, to be able to travel, to film, and to be part of like something, so it's like let's like just go. And fast forward, we didn't really get the film we expected, but sort of like rippled or like build up my character that I don't have to like really prove. I just have to like just do and like just do it consistently, and you'll really get there and really push yourself out there when you're consistent in what you love and you're just like going to the world. Because I did a lot of stuff I was even showing it, so it's like how can people discover you when you're even showing it? No matter how good you are, like I could be like the best painter, but if I'm just like keeping my painting in my room with no one to see it, people will discover how good you are.
So putting the work out there is an important part of being an artist, is what I'm hearing. Yeah. And at what point did you learn that lesson?
It's funny because I've been around people who do it for a living, like content creators, like or like TV hosts, and they've been like putting their work out there. I've been like artists, like they've been like exhibits, and I guess it's the introvert in me, like I'm waiting for the perfect time to maybe show, or I'm waiting for maybe if I have a better camera, or maybe if I have this and that. So like I've been hearing that from other people, and like it sounds cliche, but I've been applying it to myself for like maybe next time. Or honestly, I just sort of like put myself out there. Recently, like a few months back, I started making content for myself. Just, I tell people like I've done this for like 13 years, but if you go to my Facebook, I haven't really advertised. Because even myself, like I'm like good about like talking about other people's business. Like I never realized that I haven't really talked about my business.
Yeah.
So that's like a few months back. That's when I like started making like motorcycle content, which I never knew I would like reach a point where I'd be making motorcycle videos.
But it's been wildly successful, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you just started this a couple months ago, and
Yes.
I think this is really interesting for people to hear this watching, because there's, business owners are trying to build their brand online, and a lot of people struggle. Like you think maybe you're like, oh, I could make this viral content, and then you start making posts, and you're like 20 views,
Yeah.
50 views. But you were able to, actually, you went in with a really specific purpose. And, why motorcycle content? Was there a specific, you were passionate about it?
Actually, I just started riding motorcycles just recently, like for around a year plus. And I didn't make content just because of, not basically because of motorcycles, but it just so happened that I was just taking a lot of videos, full videos while riding my motorcycle with like friends. And like going back to struggling, like that's when I realized that why don't I, like, if struggling is such a big thing for even business owners, and even like some of my clients with their business, and in terms of making videos, why don't I just like show my own struggles with like riding motorcycles? So what inspired me was like when I posted a photo of like me falling down my bike and stuff, like someone anonymous from a group was like, "What, you fell down? Like I'm so good at it, I don't even fall on my bike." Like I went there, and that inspired me to make a video about me falling down. No matter how much you fall down, you always get back up. And it applies to life, like how you just have to like do like one step at a time. So I made that video. So if you go to my Instagram, I only like sort of like post once a year. So I created the account, and even in working with Eric, with you before, you're like showing me like you were posting consistently, and you showed me like, I remember that video you showed me like it reached millions of views, and like I was always like, I just have to post. I was like, and
By yourself?
I wasn't doing it myself, so I kept telling people, post, and they were like doing it, and I wasn't doing it. So I was like, I'll just do it. I'll do my own voiceover, even though it was kind of cringy just listening and editing my own voice. And fast forward to like 3 months later, like I was happy with 1K views from like a Instagram profile with like 1,000 followers. Then like sort of like gain engagement, and now it's like going 80,000 views with like hundreds of comments from around the world. So I was like surprised, like people like making long comments like, I could relate so much to the struggle. So like I was thinking like, what if business owners make videos of their struggles? Like something people can relate to. Like sometimes, especially nowadays, when it comes to like social media, everyone's putting out the cool stuff, and I could even relate to that. I want to like put on the cool stuff and make people think, oh, I'm so successful. But no one like shows like the ugly parts of like me falling down on a bike, or like how hard it is to like start a business. So like if we started doing that, more people will be like, I can relate to that. And that person could be even a client.
So there you go, great advice from Benzi here. If you're looking for content to talk about, start talking about your struggles. I guarantee if you run a business, multiple times a day, you will find struggles, and you can go talk about them. And yeah, being vulnerable is
Yeah, there you go.
being vulnerable is definitely it's an important leadership quality. So it's not just like for your content, it's also just like if you're talking to your employees, if everything is perfect, right? Like what no one believes that. You know, they might listen to you, but really deep down, they know like nobody's perfect. And people, and that's the thing with AI too, which we're going to talk about in a bit. AI will help make everything look perfect for you, but it doesn't have the real, like, AI is not going to be able to make that authentic story about you falling down and how you felt. Like, it'll tell you, you could say this is, here are some feelings you might feel that you could talk about.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same as you, and then tying it back to like, oh, this reminds me of the time I was in Dumaguete.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, like, you know, so great advice. Thank you for sharing that. And what doors has that opened up for you already? Just because you're 3 months into this experiment, finally listening to your own advice.
And yeah, so I like when I started doing content, I had the goal of just I wanted the brands that I looked up to like notice me without me like tagging them or doing hashtags. Because like personally, like there were brands like it's a really cool brand. So what some of my friends would do, they would like purchase the brand, which is like one of the ways to like, get them noticed and like use them and like tag it in story or post. Then they would like like or share the story. So that I was surprised when I started doing the content. The brands like saw them organically, like started following me, and like so then later it opened doors to me meeting new friends, like the motorcycle community. Like I was like just like doing it just for the like an escape, just a private motorcycles, but not really like an opportunity like to get to know other people like beyond just driving motorcycles, even the business side. So I met other entrepreneurs, other like filmmakers, which them introducing my work like, hey, this is a nice video. So like now I have like brands like Axor, like they're a helmet brand, like I'm working with them, and one of them is an oil brand from the Middle East, so like they're like giving us free oil to do stuff. So yeah, it's like really it's like small wins for small fun.
Awesome. So, do you have any goals of where you want to see that go? Or is it the future motorcycle content, or is it more storytelling and taking it to the next level?
The funny thing with my content is like I have recorded a lot, and I even still have a backlog of like of videos that I haven't done. So like I still have to do those, but I think I want to this part of like content creation is like just like experiments I could use for other like businesses. Like, hey, you don't have to have like a million followers to like get noticed. You just have to like be consistent, just be honest with like what you do, and make it relatable to people, so they'll find value in you being honest. So it's sort of like an experiment, and like for me, like learning, like okay, how much people can like how much have they like watching that reel, 60-second reel, and like seeing lots of engagement. Okay, that works. So it's sort of like not just a bit for the sake of like me, an outlet and like doing content, but it's also in the business side. Like, okay, this can be like a sort of like a prototype for other businesses as well. So yeah, that's like one of the goals. And maybe transitioning to like more of like live stuff. It's just like experimenting. It's like for me before I was afraid to like I have to be like just this consistent, this. But no, it's your page and it's okay to experiment. It's like me before I never even knew I would reach that sort of engagement or like sort of like success in content creation.
All right. Now, a lot of the stuff you're doing now is partially possible because you did a big move. You know, you have your family, you're married, you got kids, you're raising the family here at Dumaguete, and you up and jumped up and like moved out to Manila. You know, and you had talked about a little bit earlier. That's where all the opportunities are. I mean, it's much like for people in the U.S. If you want to do film, you go to L.A. You know, that's where all the actors, the talent, the everything is there. The studios, the producers, all that. but what drove you to leave Dumaguete and move to Manila?
I think maybe like I didn't really know back then, but I think it's just me just wanting to be in a different place. 'Cause I think before Manila I was in Boracay, so yeah, just I think just being in a new place and like doing something big or just being out of my comfort zone in a sense. Like Manila is one of the places like that. Even in college, I was like, I'm never gonna live there. Like I hate Manila. I'm never gonna live like the traffic, everything. But then yeah, I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go to Manila. I'll be there for a year and come back. Then now I've been there for 4 years, and yeah, I think just seeing the opportunity, like meeting even the people I look up to. Like I would always want to join workshops and that, but it's like so hard to like fly to Manila. Do that. But now it's just like, oh wow, the workshops is like nearby a few blocks. Or yeah, meeting the people I always want to meet. So like, I think the opportunity is just like there. And I guess a goal would be like once I've established myself and like reach a certain goal where like I've established my brand, my personal brand, as I would want to come back to Dumaguete and just like do whatever I've been doing there here.
All right, we'll explore that at the end. My last question, but we talked about your journey, getting into creativity and the arts, and then up to now where you're at Manila, and a lot has changed with art. You talked about it too, like before you were doing camera, I'm guessing film, and then now everything's digital. And there's a lot of debate, a lot of controversy with the use of AI in art mostly. Content creation, I think people are pretty accepting. Like, hey, there's going to be some use of AI. And yours, I have this theme of AI plus HI. AI is great, but you got to have the human intelligence part brought into it. But art is where it gets a little tricky. I do photography,
Yeah.
and for me, there's a limit. I'm not gonna, like if this was a picture, you guys watching live, I'm not gonna digitally add, like hot air balloons and, maybe some jugglers trying to make it look like there's some authenticity there that I feel like.
Or lights.
I've got some limits here, but talk to me about that and the like the use of AI and where do you draw the line? Where do you feel like the limits should be for AI and creativity?
I think if you're like in the artist side, if you're a real artist, you'll know when to stop or like how you're gonna use it. Like for me, like the contents that I've made, a lot of that was thanks to like AI helping me. Like what I do is like I ask AI to help me tell a story or script, but I like feed it a lot of stuff on my own. That's where like AI plus human. But then I look then okay, correct this, do this. It wasn't just like okay, make me this. Okay, that's good. I'll use that. So it helped me like sort of like jumpstart my content creation process. So be just like okay, what do I do? Like especially like you may have creative block or you're just like too tired or too stressed from work. And you're like, oh, I'm doing this content. So like that's where AI comes in. Like helps you with the parts that you're not so good at. Then you like sort of aid it. So that helped with my content creation. Like okay, help me with this and that. Like help me make a script for a 60 seconds clip. They don't go beyond that. So that's how AI works. And when it comes to like art, it's funny how like people now transition into like they're like oh that's AI slap.
Yeah.
They like like when it's AI like a poster like I even saw like a post a few days ago like I'm not going to your event if your poster makes made of AI because they know like you've not put your heart into it that much. Like there's times when like you can make AI posters, but like they, especially when you're an established business who does really nice art. Like I even noticed like like this musician. He does really nice music videos. It's suddenly made like a full music video. It was like really off. So that's when people are starting to like sense like, yeah, this AI stuff. That's not genuine. So compared to years back, we're like, oh, like AI.
Yeah. So you're seeing a shift
Shift, yeah.
as an artist.
Yeah.
What do you think that means for creators that are trying to keep up with everything? What you gotta look out for?
It helps a lot. Like for example, when I'm filming, like I did this for motorcycle brand. I did this ad. So we had to film. I had this vision, like okay, this bridge in Manila. In the end, the guys are gonna like come there, and the sunset's gonna like perfect. But then when there's traffic, we didn't know the road was closed there. So we spent like an hour like going through traffic just to reach a point. And we're actually the scene, the bridge was just like there. But since we can't go in, we have to like go way around. So it was nighttime and it's a sunset. So what I did was like I shot the scene like okay, I'll just shoot the scene of you like, coming in like with lights and like and then it was like after sunset. And I had a photo of mine from my inspiration, so I had AI like do a time lapse of that. So just to like stitch it in. So that's it. Like I didn't like have AI do like a motorcycle scene. Although they could, so I think it's AI could be like something like a supplementary in that way, not like a whole video with AI. Although they can do that right now, but still you can sense that lack of artistry in a way, like that sort of like spirit of the artist. So yeah, that's how I use it.
Oh, thank you for sharing. Because I mean, I think we've got a lot of business leaders on the show. You know, we talk about how they're using it in their business, and I like what you're sharing about how you got to bring your stuff to it. You know, and be able to talk about. Bring your input, and not just take what it gives you, but also okay, we need to change this and add that. That's AI plus agent. That's how you get to that. Now we've got a couple more questions here. We'll wrap it up because I know we're probably maybe we're still good. We're at 56 minutes, so we're doing. Try to keep it like around this time. All right, so. Oh, one of the things I always found fascinating with you was like your, I don't know, it's an outdated term, Rolodex. The people you know, like, you're always like, oh yeah, I know, and it's like casually mentioned, like, oh, I know this person and I work with them, or like, I could connect you with this guy, and I'm not, it's like, oh, this person's like an LA Times photographer, they have a gallery in LA, or this person, like, soon, upcoming guest for the show, Ken Okazaki from Tokyo, I know because of Benzi, got connected with him on Facebook because of that. Would be a future episode. But, like, for someone that's an introvert, you know a lot of people. What's up with that?
I don't know, I think that's like, I don't know if it was a game character, that was like one of my perks, I guess, like, I guess it's for me, like, looking back, it's like, I like to give a lot of my energy to people. Like sometimes, like people could mistake me as like a people pleaser, but like not a people pleaser. I'm like I'm just happy when people are happy. So like even meeting like the LA Times gallery owner when they were here doing a workshop, I was like we had a workshop before. I would like carry stuff, like just like hey, how can I help you? How can I like make things easier for you? So I like to like be of service of people. Like also like if one of you was like missing an SD card, like hey Benzi, are you available? Can you like do me a favor and bring me my SD card way up in Valencia? I'll be like okay, I'll do that. Wow. So yeah, I've been always just like giving myself out there. Although it could be a little tricky, like you could be taken advantage of and stuff. I always thought to myself like that's up to them. Like that. Anyway, like as long as I'm doing good and I'm like, just giving myself out there someday, that's why I tell people like, I always do this stuff for people, just talk. So I'm like, one day he's gonna like, it could be someone successful and be like, yeah, Benzi, like let me here. So something little can be like something bigger. So sooner. So like, yeah, like for example, like I helped this friend of mine back in the pandemic. Like I was teaching boxing, so it's really funny. So it's like, yeah, just to hang out, not even thinking of like anything like I get in return. So now he's like working in China and like, hey, wanna come over and teach photography in China? Like all expense paid. So like, okay, that's a problem. Let's do it.
So when is that happening?
December.
Okay, December. So if you're in China in December and you want to learn photography, Benzi. That's awesome. I mean, you do get to do a lot of travel considering you're from this little place in Dumaguete here, and you built a great big network of people. And I don't know, you've done so much creatively. I really admire like how you've been able to jump into so many situations, and like even though if you're working at a gym in Boracay, you're still doing creative stuff or wherever you're at. Like the murals that you've done, around here, it's a lot. So, well, I've been trying to hold back asking this question, but I think it's a good time to ask this question here because you're getting ready. Well, yeah, let's hold off just a little bit longer because I want to talk about some of the projects that you're working on. So. I know you were sending me pictures recently of your gallery you're opening up, right? So talk to me about that. That's a big, actually I'd like to talk a bit about that. 'Cause that's a big step forward, opening your own space. So the first thing I thought about is how much is that going to cost a month to air condition?
Yeah.
Either that or it's just going to be hot there. So talk about that. What are you working on?
So here's the interesting thing, like going back to me just giving my energy to people, which led me to like, okay, this person, that's how I can survive in my business as a photographer and artist, is that people were like just spreading or talking about me, like word of mouth. And some of the people were like, for me, I was looking back then, I was like, yeah, that's like nothing, but they were like, that's even like the best advertisement because like people trust you and they like, work with you and they're just like sharing. So like, when I went to Manila, even Boracay, like I never put myself out there, but I'm like grateful that people like sort of like discovered me just by word of mouth. So the studio that we're opening used to be like a kids playground. So the owner's like a client of mine, so someone shared like about me, so like they hired me and. So I did content for their playground and other businesses. They proposed to like start like a studio business for me last year. They didn't come through. So like, okay, like I had lots of plans last year that didn't come through at 2025. I was like, okay, maybe it's just like not meant to be. But I was like, I was like really discouraged. But fast forward, it just like came to be. So I always thought myself like, as much as I want to be like entrepreneur, but like it's hard to be an artist and an entrepreneur at the same time. It's like if I was to choose, like even back in the day, like if you did art, just did art for like sure it's art, but you didn't want to do it for like income.
Yeah.
So it's a hard balance. So it's like I told myself like if I wanted to like start a business, I wish someone would like invest in me, knowing my skill and how I work, and without me having to like shell out money. So then it happened. Like we went to be business partners.
You manifested it.
Yeah, I kept also like praying like, okay, just give me the right people. Because I've met a lot of people who would like they seem good at the time, but they like fantastic. I was also in a lot of moments where I'm stuck and like even in one moment I had this 200 pesos left. Like, why am I here? What am I doing? Like questioning myself. But then I was like, yeah, just continue like doing good and giving your best for other people out there, and it will all slowly come back. So like now like I haven't really wrapped myself around it, but like yeah, we're opening up in July, and like I have to find like a photographer. Like how can I find a photographer who's gonna be my right hand person? And they want someone who's female because they're both females. They're like really strong businesswomen. And I was like, I have to find this. Like, where do I find it? And funny enough, someone like messages me on Instagram like, hey, I'm selling my camera, I don't know you. Um, I pawned my camera and maybe you would wanna buy it to help me. I was like, are you a photographer? I checked her page and she's like starting. And she's a little bit good. So like, do you wanna like work in a studio? So maybe we could hire you. So yeah, so and the cost wise, yeah, we talk about like we have to reach target. We have to like maybe like earn 30,000 pesos a day, something like that to reach. Because we're in Manila, we pay for the AC, and there's just a lot happening. Like how do we do this? How do we keep it survive and stuff. So and it goes back to content. So like yeah, I'll start making content of like how I struggle as a studio owner. Yeah, just put it out there. So attract people to come over.
Cool. Well, I'm excited, and in the future episode, we'll come back to Manila, and we'll get to show that to you guys in future times.
Or maybe shoot there.
Yeah, we'll do the interview there in Manila, and they get to see how Benzi's doing with that. But yeah, you've done a mix of working for yourself, working for others. You've done politics. You've done, like. What pushes you to try so many different, like you're all over the place, and I think it reminds me a little bit of me, like I'm all over the place too. People always tell me, Eric, you gotta kind of pick something. I'm like, no, I'm gonna do everything. Do you think though, like, because I know like in our work together, we've tried a lot of things too. At one point you're like, yeah, I'm gonna we'll just start this whole thing where we're teaching a bunch of up-and-coming, which sounds like you're still doing it. I got this up-and-coming photographer. But, you learn about what you love to do and maybe some things you're like, you know what, that was interesting to experience, and I'm not going to do that again. And I think that relates a lot to entrepreneurship, too, where we got to be passionate about what we're working on, because if you're not, like when things go bad, it's going to be hard to keep pushing forward. So talk a little bit about that. Like what's your motivation behind going into all these different places? Like going and following a politician for a year, filming like all their speeches all over Luzon and wherever. Like you've done some interesting stuff.
I think it's just my curiosity, and I've been like going back to Dumaguete, like having not so much like little here, just wanted to try different stuff. So I was like a restaurant manager. I was like I was a waiter one time. I even designed like uniforms for like a bank. So super random stuff. But I always thought to myself, people say like jack of all trades, master of none. I'll tell myself, jack of all trades, master of self.
Okay.
So I can do all this, and like, but I don't want to like do everything and be like, oh, this I'm not so good at this. I try to be like good at everything. Like some people don't know me as a photographer; they know me as like a graphic designer. Some people know me as an artist, they know me as this. So I never really put myself out there as like this. So like you do know me, and like I'm like really grateful that like working with Backbiz, I get to like explore that as well. So like doing murals and doing videos, into variety shows. That was really fun.
Yeah.
So I mean that was like sort of like a jump start to like the stuff I could be. I was like doing right now. So yeah, that's like the curiosity of doing stuff and exploring stuff, and yeah, going back to like not having so much resources. So me trying to keep stuff. Yeah. So
Yeah, I forgot about that. They're not public because it was like internal videos, but right when COVID started, everyone went. Before that, we had everyone working
during COVID.
Yeah, because everyone was working from the office before. We didn't have work from home; it didn't exist, and it was a big challenge because you got roosters crowing at people's homes. The technology, the internet had issues, still has issues today. Power challenges, but we had no choice. We had everyone working from home, and I was like, well, I'm gonna start a TV show so that we can keep everyone connected. And I think it was like once a month we came out with a new episode. I think. Did we do once a week? Right? Maybe we were crazy like I'm doing right now. It probably was once a week. But then we got it to like maybe 15, 16 episodes, and then we shut it down.
Because you
Because they
shot
were-
yours in Phoenix. And
Yeah.
then some people shot theirs at home, some at the office,
They were.
some were playing music.
Well, it was a full-on show, and I think it was a lot of, like, just like you, like the stuff that you did led to other things. Like for me, that was a big, like it's something I've always wanted to do. Is just kind of like run some kind of show like that. So I'd film all the like intro, outro clips, like in between clips, and then I'd have people in the Philippines talk. We'd have a band, different performers from Pacas do the ending song, and they were like 35, 40, like without commercials.
Yeah.
Like, if you put commercials in, it'd be like a 60-minute TV show that we were putting together. It was a lot of work, so that's why eventually we had to end it. But we were able to connect everybody for during a time where, like especially here in Dumaguete, the lockdown was so restrictive. They had police checkpoints here. And that's one of the reasons why we couldn't have people come to the office. They didn't keep up with like motorcycle registration, and they couldn't drive to the office. So like, it's either give them a laptop to work from home, or they can't work. So we had some crazy stuff, but that was like one of the first things when we first started working at Pacas, and then we just did so many video projects from there. He helped with the first podcast, Contact Center Cactus Chat, which we got to like almost 30 episodes. Again, like, so even though Benzi's not directly involved, he actually, I will say, he designed the logo for the show, so his fingerprints are still around here. That, we've been able to work together, and I really appreciate that attitude of like saying yes to anything, which is dangerous, because I'd come to him with all these crazy ideas, and he's like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm like, then what did we get ourselves into? But I always talk about entrepreneurship is a journey. It's just like the NBA championship. It's great for those few minutes after you win to like celebrate, but I've heard professional athletes talk about like those moments are so fleeting. They come and go. It's all about the journey, and we've had a fun journey together, getting to work together, and to still get to stay connected, getting him on my show.
That's what people don't really get to see, like the journey. It's not, although the product's beautiful, but I think the journey, like looking back at how we did all this, that's like a stepping stone to like who we are, and I met you as well. Like seeing, like you starting a podcast, another pod, like this podcast, like these are the stepping stones to something great in the future.
Yeah, and you never know where it leads to, which goes back to you guys and your business. Maybe there's a new service you want to start. Maybe you finally need to get your business going, or you want to go from working out of your garage to a studio, brick and mortar, where now you got to think about, like, oh, I've got to pay for air conditioning and utilities and stuff on top of what you're doing. But you'll get to hear the story of Benzi as he makes that leap and where it goes from there, and as you get to follow the journey with the podcast here. So, well, I think it's a good time to transition to my final question that we like to ask on the show, since this is called Unfinished Business. And obviously there's a lot of unfinished business, but I'm curious if you have like a big goal that you have in mind. Like what's something that's, because I know there's something bigger than the studio. And we talked about Steven Spielberg as one of maybe someone that could be an inspiration for you. But what do you want to be able to accomplish by the end of your career? When you mentioned coming back to Dumaguete one day when you made it, and just be able to, like, what is that making it to you? What's your unfinished business?
I think just having more like guys like me of not like of less, and like being that sort of like gateway to like other opportunities. So like me going to Manila is me sacrificing my comfort here in Dumaguete for a time to maybe bring that here in the city. So I have lots of guys that I've helped before, like who are now like, some of them are like even like big editors for Billboard. And like before we were just like, hey, do you want to like come with me edit in this one laptop? We share like one laptop, and like our garage and like edit through that really slow laptop. But now they're like editing for celebrities, and so me having the joy of seeing them successful in their own way through how we started little is like, for me, like I want that to be bigger someday. So like you giving me opportunity to work in practice is also like that for me as well. So like I also want to be that stepping stone for others as well. So like I know maybe here in Dumaguete or even Manila, and so or in a small island city, or but I just want to be that sort of stepping stone and be successful and finish their business in their own way.
To help other people realize what their unfinished business is. All right. Well, thank you for sharing. And I'm curious, like with everything that you could do, like you have a big, wide range of like graphic design, photography, videography. You can film for businesses. You can do documentaries. Like what projects are you looking for right now that you would like to be able to work on, and how can people get a hold of you to work on it?
I think I kind of wanna go back to painting. I've like held, like I went home recently. I'm home recently, and I still have one canvas hanging there, blank canvas.
Oh.
But I haven't finished, so that's my unfinished business. So, and I bought new materials like a few months back for my kids. Like, hey, let's paint. I never did that, so I guess going back into painting, like doing more exhibits like that. Just and if they want to get in touch with me, I have Instagram and Facebook. I can just search my name there. And
What's your tag?
At Paul Benzi.
Yeah, and we'll get the link up online so you can connect with him. And if you want to work with him, shoot him a message. He is super creative, and guarantee you will not regret working with him. So, well, thank you so much for sharing some of your story on the show. It's been fun doing a live podcast in the park. We had lights going off and all kinds of things unexpected happened.
A rat passed me.
Rat ran by. So you never know what you get on the show shooting live. But thank you so much. And for more stories like this, make sure you look for our podcast on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. Unfinished Business with Eric Mulvin, and look for us on social media at Biz with Eric to keep up with all the new episodes that we release every Tuesday. And until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode. See you later.
CEOs and visionaries shaping what's to come, building more than profit, lifting everyone. Every path's unique, but it takes a choice to grow. Set your goals and shape the way your future goes. Unfinished business, where people in tech connect to amplify. Intelligence plus AI. Unfinished business. Moonshot goals that launch you high. Unfinished business. Listen close and you'll learn why. Subscribe, look for Biz with Eric online, and follow Unfinished Business on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you listen.